Hey up, it's Steve, an old Yorkshire geek, and a bit of Stargate news or a rumour. This comes from Cameron Pasha. I like Cameron, but I take all of his, his scoops, I'll put them in quotes, scoops, with a grain of salt. I could do with all, scoopers. Is that the right word? I don't know, but I'm just jealous that I don't have inside sources at like MGM and all these other places. But anyway. But I love them all. We all love Doomcock, and we all love Cameron. We all love Jay at Tachyon Pulse. But we're all just jealous that we don't have their sources. Anyway, so this is a scoop from Cameron Pasha, as he related to Paulie at Latino Slant. He's got it on his Patreon page as well. Links are in the description for both those. But we'll just have a look, shall we? But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and my books and my other channels and my websites and all that other stuff. Become a member, like these cool people, wherever they're popping up on screen. And you get early access videos and exclusive videos and stuff like that. Right, so here we go. Here we go. I will pop this up on the screen. If I can remember how to do it. What's up with me? There we go. Right, so there it is. This is from the YouTube channel of Paulie at Latino Slant, where he did a show with Cameron. I'll not play it, but we'll just go and see what the writing says. I'll go full screen. Yeah, we'll go full screen. Right, so here we go. I went to scroll then. I'm that thick. I went to scroll. So, apparently Cameron has got an insider at MGM that he codenames Cardinal. He names all his insiders after birds. I think the one at Disney's called Sparrow and all that. But we've got some info about the upcoming new Stargate series on Amazon. So I'll try and get to the relevant bit. Hang on, where are we? Right, so here we go. There's a pilot script. If you want to watch it, as I said, the link is in the description. Not to listen to me, rather listen to Cameron. I would. But so we'll just read it out, shall we? Amazon MGM decided to greenlight the show based on the completed pilot script, which everyone is excited about. The pilot is set in the next stage of the storyline established by the Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe. But series, I presume it means. But the new series will follow what happens after disclosure of the Stargate program and the alien threat has been made to the public. We kind of knew all this already, didn't we? That it was a new chapter, but not a reboot, but a continuation, but a new chapter. I'm not sure I'm happy about the disclosure of the Stargate program, but we will plod on. Accordingly, there will be a new team established in the pilot, which will include civilians as well as military personnel, which they kind of always did anyway, didn't they? SG-1, you had Daniel Jackson, who was a civilian. Technically Teal'c as well, wasn't he? But and in Stargate Atlantis, Rodney was technically a civilian, wasn't he? The head of the Stargate Atlantis, the Pegasus expedition, was a civilian, wasn't she? Elizabeth Weir, she wasn't military. But so they always have civilians in there as well. And in Stargate Universe, you've got like Eli and all them, and Dr. Rush. They're technically civilians as well. But anyway, so just the carrying on that. With a friendly alien like the Jafar of the original series. So like the Jafar, or is it going to be another Jafar? Will it be one we know? Will it be somebody we know, or a totally new alien friend? Do they have to have an alien friend? It sounds a bit, crowbarred in, doesn't it? Oh, we've got to have an alien as part of the team. Which they all have, haven't they, really? Apart from Stargate Universe. But anyway. Where were we? Cardinal says that the story uses elements that had been planned but never executed in SG-1 and Atlantis. There were follow-up. They're going to do more movies on another series of Stargate Atlantis where they went back to the Pegasus galaxy. And I can't remember what it was called now, but there were a name for it, wasn't there? What was going to happen next. But and there were going to be another SG-1 film, wasn't there? Movie. That I'm blanking on the name of that as well. I'm hopeless, I know, but anyway, whatever. So they're going to use some of the things from there. Maybe I went to scroll then and I forgot because I'm stupid. Cardinal says the intent is to honour the established mythos, but also make the series approachable to newbies. Because I think they've said that as well already, haven't they? As Martin Gero and all them. The fact that the general public is learning about the Stargate universe for the first time creates an effective way to explain to new viewers the myth and history of the series. I don't want the Stargate to be public knowledge. I don't want it to be like the episode of SG-1 2010 where the Stargate were public knowledge and they'd moved it into like a shopping mall and people just went through it, just like an airport sort of thing, wasn't it? I didn't like that. Although the episode itself was good, I didn't like the fact that it was public. I want it to be secret. Anyway, because it kind of, if you do that, if you make it public, it rips Stargate away from our world, if you know what I mean. Can you see me there? If you know what I mean. If they keep it secret, we can pretend that it's real. Can't we? You know what I mean? And I know what I mean. We can pretend that it's really happening. Wormhole Extreme is just a cover and all that stuff. And it's secret, so we'll never know. But if they make it public in the story, then it kind of takes it away from our world. Like Star Trek tries to pretend it's the actual future. Well, we know it's not really, but they try to pretend it is by telling us about things that have happened in the past, even though they can't have done. But never mind. We still like to think that Star Trek is going to be our future, and the same with Stargate for me. Anyway, so when a civilian learns about the Goa'uld aliens for the first time on screen, it will be a natural way to educate new viewers as well. And they say later on that the Goa'uld are back. So I've mentioned this before on my stream that I did a couple of weeks ago with Win Grace. That, are the Goa'uld still a threat? Because they were essentially wiped out. The System Lords were taken out. Obviously the Goa'uld will still be out there. There's the Tok'ra, and there'll be other non-System Lord Goa'ulds about, won't there? Are the Jafar still carrying them about in their tummies? Infant Goa'ulds, or have they all gone on to Tritonin now? I have no idea. But anyway, we will continue. Writers from the previous shows are returning, we know this, to the staff, led by showrunner Martin Gero, who has been writing episodes for the franchise since SG-1, and the original writers of the film, Dean Devlin and director Roland Emmerich, will serve as consultants on the show to preserve story authenticity going back to the 1994 movie, which they don't really need, do they? Because it essentially jettisoned the movie. Apart from the Stargate itself and the general principle of it, they essentially jettisoned the movie, more or less. Even though we did see Ra in Stargate Continuum, didn't we? Played by a different actor, not Jay Davidson. But anyway, I went to scroll again then. But yeah, we know that. We know that the original. We've got Martin Gero as the showrunner, and then we've got executive producers, Brad, who are also helping with the writing. Brad Wright, Joseph Malozzi. So anyway, let's go further. Budget. This is the big news, says Cameron on his Patreon page. This is the big news. Amazon MGM is planning to throw massive amounts of money into the series. We are talking about at the scale of the Rings of Power show. I can't believe that. I don't know. This is the thing about this that I don't believe, that I think is got wrong. But anyway, which is reported to have been made for between $750 million to $1 billion per season, which is not. That's not true. It's cost a lot of money, but it hasn't cost that much. Not per season. Anyway, much of the money will be spent on VFX in order to make the show visually stunning on a level that its more modestly budgeted predecessors could never have even imagined. They did say, Martin Gero and the others did say that they were looking forward to the budget, because they were getting more money than the previous Stargates had got, but I don't think they'll be getting that much money. Not $1 billion or, I don't think they will. The intent here is to create a space epic that defines this generation, which is, fair enough if that's what they're hoping for. But anyway, we'll see. Season schedule and plan. The current plan is to create a 5 to 7 season show. Seems a bit optimistic, doesn't it? But if that's just the plan, then it might not work out that way. It depends how popular it is, doesn't it? But anyway, with between 8 to 10 episodes per season, we want more, don't we? We want at least 15. 20 would be ideal. But anyway, whatever. Do fewer seasons, but with 20 episodes per season. With the pilot complete, they are already working on scripts for the first season. Due to the heavy production and VFX plan, it may be a couple of years before the show premieres. So realistically, we may not see the series on screen until late 2027. I think it'll be before that myself. I think I'll use my old cliche, mid 2027 at the latest. That's what I think. I'll probably be wrong, but that's what I think. Optimistically, late 2026, early 2027. That's me being optimistic. Probably won't happen. The goal appears to be to get it right rather than to rush to production. See what they did there, rush on Stargate Universe. I know, whatever. As was the sloppy Rings of Power series. I don't think Rings of Power wasn't rushed, was it? It was just rubbish. Anyway. But Cardinal adds that the studio is being aggressive about getting things moving as quickly as feasible. So I think we'll start learning things soon. The next after Christmas, I think we'll start learning more about people who may be coming back, and series structure, who the bad guys are, stuff like that. But anyway, right. So here we go. Returning stars. Long-time fans will be happy to know that the goal is to have most of the main characters from the earlier shows returning as guest stars, and recurring characters on the new series. I don't think that'll be right. I think we'll get some. I don't think we'll get most. But anyway, this includes Jason Momoa, who was a part of the Atlantis cast and is eager to come back to the role as his schedule on other projects permits. I don't think we'll get Jason Momoa, and to be particularly honest, I don't want Jason Momoa back. That's just personal. I was never a fan of Ronan Dex, even though I've said it before. My favourite episode of Stargate is Midway, in which Ronan Dex features prominently, but never mind. Sadly, it looks like Richard Dean Anderson is not currently slated to return, as he has permanently retired from acting. So that means he'll definitely be in it, in my opinion. I think he will be in it, even if only as on the screen somewhere, wishing them well or something along them lines. But I think he will appear, and not just as a mention. Anyway, the currently pilot. Come on, Cameron, you're a professional writer, for crying out loud. The current pilot, or currently the pilot, whatever, mentions his character General Jack O'Neill as a hero of the Stargate universe who has retired from military service. I went to scroll again then. Right, adversaries. I wasn't happy about this, to be honest. The new show will focus on the major alien enemies established in the prior series as its adversaries. I think that's a mistake. I think we should have a new big bad. This includes the Goa'uld, of course, or Goa'uld, whatever you want to pronounce it, but also the Jedi and the Lucian Alliance. I mean, the Lucian Alliance, fair enough, but as I said on my live stream, my hope for the series was that essentially Earth, the Tauri as we are known out there, had become the major power in the galaxy after we'd helped defeat the Goa'uld, and also the replicators and all them, and the Lucian Alliance, and we'd built up his own fleet, along with our alliance with the Jafar and other races, I imagine, good guy races, had been able to contain the Lucian Alliance, which were essentially a gang of thugs and gangsters that had grabbed as much Goa'uld technology and ships as they could after the Goa'uld were defeated, and caused a bit of a problem. But in my hope that they'd be contained, they won't be. They'd maybe be a minor irritation. And the Jedi, who gives a monkeys about the Jedi? Yeah, there were good bad guys that popped up occasionally in Stargate Atlantis, but I wouldn't call them major adversary, to be honest. Even though the episodes that they were in were really good, such as The Storm and all that. But they were like a secondary bad guy to the Wraith, won't they? Why doesn't Cardinal mention the Wraith, who were proper bad guys? I think the Wraith were more bad than the Goa'uld, but no. But anyway, and the Goa'uld as well. Have they re-established themselves? You know, with the System Lords have been got rid of, because it said in Stargate Continuum they got Baal, who was the last. It said the last of the System Lords. So they'd obviously executed or whatever all the System Lords. So had other Goa'uld risen up and taken control? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so okay, so that is what I have for now. Our source Cardinal is very excited about the show, as am I, and I hope they will give us more insider information over time. So there we go. So that's what he put on his Patreon page, which I've got here. I will share this as well. But you can't read it. You've got to sign up, upgrade to his Patreon page. There we go. That's Cameron's Patreon page. But you can't read. You've got to upgrade. So you've got to pay him to read it, which is why I've done it this way. But you can subscribe to his Patreon page for free. But got to upgrade for the scoops and all that. So there we go. So that's what he told Paul at Latino Slant. I'm not sure. As I said, I take it with a grain of salt, to be completely honest. So go subscribe to Cameron Pasha over at Patreon and subscribe to Paul at Latino Slant as well. But as I said, I take it with a grain of salt. Cameron has a sketchy track record, to be completely honest, with his scoops. He scooped about Star Wars stuff. Famously, he said the Acolyte wasn't going to get past a sizzle reel. They were given $30 million to do a sizzle reel, and that's all that we're going to get. They were wrong about that, weren't they? But they can't be right all the time, can they? Because they are relaying what they are told by people on the inside. How deep on the inside they are, who knows? But anyway, so take it with a grain of salt. It's kind of exciting, but I'm not sure about what he said. I don't want the Stargate to be public, if it's true what he's saying about that, and I don't want old adversaries to be around. But I want a new big bad. I've always said I want the Furlings to be the new big bad, but I imagine they'll have a different one. But I hope we don't see like the replicators again. Or I want to see the aliens from the Stargate Atlantis episode, Daedalus Variations. They kept jumping to like alternate universes, and in one of them there were these bad guys that looked a little bit like the Borg, a little bit. But not as Borgy, but they were kind of like that, and they'd have been cool. I'd like to see them again, but I doubt if we will. Anywho, right, so there we go. So as I said, go over and subscribe to Paul at Latino Slant, and subscribe to Cameron Pasha's Patreon, and there we go. So Stargate news, it's on its way. I think we'll learn something sometime in the new year. The first few months of 2026, I think we'll start getting more information from Martin Guerrero and Joseph Malozzi and Brad Wright and all that. They'll start letting us know how they're going on. It'd be cool, wouldn't it, if they did like production diaries? That'd be nice. Remember that Peter Jackson did with his Lord of the Rings and all that? Let's see some Stargate production diaries, and we can watch the progress as we go. But I don't think they will, because they'll want to keep it all secret, won't they? It's all mystery box these days, isn't it? In that sense, I hope the story isn't a mystery box. I hope they're not learning from J.J. Abrams, for God's sake. But anyway, I hope not. Right, so we'll leave it there. I'm waffling, I know. We'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the